Welcome to the Odd Pod, where we're talking Kitchener Rangers hockey with the AudBalls themselves, Andrew and Justin. Take it away, fellas.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Justin.
I have an honorary first star this week.
Ooh, this is an exciting new segment.
Just for this week.
Well, don't rule it out in the future.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. As last week we determined, it is our podcast. We can make the own rules.
That's one of my favorite moments from the pod.
Is when we decided we can make our own rules.
When we became strong, independent young men. Young asterisk.
Young asterisk. Good. So I have a first star for Sean Fafaro. Because he made the Juice laugh this week.
That is incredible.
The intermission video, he had them signing, a bunch of players and coaches signing pictures of themselves as children.
Oh.
And he pulled out a picture of the Juice, and the Juice went, and I was like, is he Dracula? Because that was amazing.
Was he laughing or doing what he thought he should do in that moment?
I think it was a genuine laugh.
Genuine laugh from the Juice.
It was great. Because he's smiled and chuckled at things before. Mostly all Sean. I'm going to say it's all Sean Fafaro. I've never seen him do that with any other interview or anything like that. Like, Sean Fafaro gets his funny bone going.
Brings it out of him.
He does.
Brings him out of his shell. Well, we saw him perform that Slapshot skit.
It's true.
So, yeah, Sean has the key to the Juice, to unlocking the Juice's fun side.
Yes. So that was great. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
All right, so we got some games to recap.
We do.
We got 3 games from this past week. I really enjoyed not having a triple header on the weekend. It was nice to have the break.
That was really enjoyable.
Yeah.
It was nice to not to have to commit to 3 days in a row when you have a young child and a wife, but also it was good for the boys.
It was.
That's the main thing.
I think it was good for the boys.
I can watch the games on delay. Yeah, they cannot play them on delay.
They cannot. Okay, so the first game we're going to recap is the Peterborough Petes on Friday night, where we won 4-1. So guess what? We're doing 3 stars.
3 stars are back.
Heck yes. HE double hockey sticks. Yeah. Hockey podcast.
They got it. They're smart. They're way ahead of you.
Oh.
You got to treat your audience with a little more respect than that. They're ahead of you.
Oh, okay. Shoot. Sorry, everyone. What's your first star?
The whole team. I know that's a cop-out, but it was a complete team effort. So I tried to narrow it down, and I thought, you know what? It's not working, so that must mean everybody played well.
Yeah.
And so I just took that as a sign that, honestly, it was just they really gelled. They bounced back. And I was proud of them that they didn't get caught by a team that has nothing to lose because pretty much all they do is lose.
Yeah.
And it's not throwing shade. That's just that, like, they're having a tough season.
Having a real tough season. Yeah.
What was your first star?
I was able to distill it down.
Great.
Down to our man, Jackson Parsons.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to get real boring on this podcast because I think we're going to say his name a ton today.
Well, I will say he has a star in every game.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was so great in this game. Again, like, this game started, it was not a given that we would win this game because the first period, the Pete's had some really good chances.
They did. That's what I thought was interesting, was that they've lost so many games, but they look like they've got some compete in them.
Yeah, they came out ready to play. So there was some breakaways. There were some pretty high intensity slot shots, like,
for sure.
And our man Jackson, Action Jackson, as they call him on the broadcast.
Call him, yes.
He shut him down. All right, what's your second star?
I call it the pretty power play because Pridham has arrived.
He has.
And I think we're going to be talking about him a lot in this episode.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a couple stars as well.
But yes, he joined on to our power play in this one and buried one. So I'm really excited that he's bringing another offensive threat and finishing ability to a power play that we're going to get into later maybe needs it. Maybe he's exactly what the doctor ordered, because I believe they were 1 for 9 or something in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
That is an approximation. I just remember it wasn't great.
Yeah. OddPod and analytics team really failing you on this.
It's true. However, if you are following along and watching the games, you know that it was bad, then it was really good for a long time, and then it's kind of floundered a little bit. And so it was nice to see them score one in this one.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that they have power play depth.
Yeah.
And that there is different combinations of defensemen and forwards that can get out there and score a goal.
It's interesting that I don't know if this is specific to the OHL, but definitely to the Rangers, is that they don't really work in the power plays don't really work in the same way that the NHL power plays do. Like the NHL power play is a coveted role that all the players seem to really want to get onto that power play 1 position, where I feel like here, I'm not sure if it's the same thing, but like there's different guys on the ice all the time. Like it's always a different combo of players in the power play. Like there's some staple guys, but like the defenseman will rotate, like, and they don't always change at the same time. So like a defenseman will swap out, but the forwards will stay out, or the forwards will switch and Andonovsky will stay out, or whatever. Like it doesn't seem like it's the same.
If I could ask the Juice a question.
Yeah.
I'm putting this out into the universe. Perhaps maybe one day we will be able to ask the Juice a question. I would like to talk to him about his power play strategy.
Yeah.
Not from a critical standpoint, but from asking what it's like to run a power play where you have different players all the time, just as you described, coming on and off and trying to find the chemistry. Also, a lot of times I notice it's 3 and 2, 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, whereas NHL is almost exclusively 4 and 1.
Very rarely.
However, I know it's pretty scrambly in the OHL. We know it's easy to get scored on shorthanded, so maybe it makes more sense to go 3 and 2.
It's also easier when you have guys like Cameron Reed, who are amazingly gifted offensively as well.
Yes, last year we were spoiled with Hunter Brustevich.
Yeah.
This year we're spoiled with Cameron Reed on the back end. Sometimes Cameron Reed looks like a forward in the offensive zone. He does, with his skating ability and his puck handling. And that's invaluable. But like, there's lots of times where it's like Chromiak and Andonovsky.
Yeah. Well, and those guys can also produce.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
for sure.
They are not hindering the team.
Not at all.
In the offensive zone.
I'm just curious what the strategy is.
Yeah, me too. Well, when you secure the interview with the Juice, see if you can get him to laugh, and then also ask him that question.
That's true. Yes.
I don't know if you got the Sean Fafaro touch, but I believe in you.
Well, he gets a lot of at-bats with the Juice.
He does. Yeah, he's had a few times to try and figure it out.
Yeah, so I'm not going to compare myself against a major leaguer like Sean. What's your second star?
The Missile. Had a great game. It feeds into your power play conversation. He scored 1 goal on the power play. He got an assist as well. But he's just fun to watch. Like he's great to watch. There's not much more to say. We've talked about him in length. Misljevic
ad nauseum almost at this point, but it's because he is doing so much heavy lifting.
Yeah,
offensively
for sure.
And it's just, again, if you haven't been listening, he's a great story. He went undrafted. He is now the team leader in points, and he's just carrying his weight and more offensively as a finisher, as a distributor, as a puck carrier. He does it all.
He does everything. What's your third star?
My third star is Jackson Parsons. If you haven't been paying attention, the third star is something we like, but we question. I'm never going to question the original Odd Pod guy, Jackson Parsons.
Never.
However,
but you did put him as the third star.
I put him as the third star because I'm not necessarily questioning him. He played lights out. Almost always does.
Yep.
I can't think of a time he didn't.
Yep.
Schabel didn't get a game.
Yeah, I also agree with you.
And I thought that the 1-13 and 2 or whatever they were, Peterborough Pete's, is on a Friday night home at the Odd probably would have been a nice game for Schabel to start.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess I'm not questioning Jackson Parsons. I'm questioning maybe the goalie rotation a little bit.
Yeah.
In the sense of Parsons played all the games a previous weekend. I thought that was a lot. I think he's got a heavy workload. And I just think that this is the cupcake of all cupcakes coming to town.
Yeah.
Maybe Schabel gets a game in front of the home crowd on a Friday night.
It would have been fun.
I'm sure his family would appreciate that.
And I think he would. He's Schabel has also proved to be able to hold his own.
He is doing his job very well.
He is.
What's your third star?
My third star, it's mostly I just miss saying G.R.O.A.T.s.
G.R.O.A.T.s. Let's make up for all the episodes where we haven't said
G.R.O.A.T.s. Yeah, I just miss him. That's all.
I know. He's out there, and you know what? He does his job because it's somewhat unnoticeable.
It is.
And that's, I think, the best compliment you can give to a defender sometimes is like, oh, I didn't notice you so much out there.
Yeah,
because you didn't make any mistakes.
I know. He's the true stagehand of this team.
Very steady Eddie.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the next game we have is the Sarnia Sting. I don't know why I have to say an accent with that name every time.
It was the Flint Firebirds.
Yes, but we haven't played them in a while.
It's this. I don't even know what accent that was.
It was the Sarnia Sting. I don't know.
Oh no,
I don't know.
He's trapped in the accents. The dialect got him.
But we won 5-1 or 5-0. 5 to the big old goose.
Say you're scoring a goal here now. I'm Parsons.
Definitely not. What's your first star? Is it Parsons?
No. No. Only because he didn't face that many shots.
It's true.
However, my first star, I will say Parsons is my second star.
Okay.
My first star is and I was trying to figure out a good nickname for this line. I tried the LP, as in Elenis, Lamb, and Pridham.
Yeah.
But I don't love it. So we're going to just call it the Elenis, Pridham, Lamb line right now. So it's Nasham Lamb. Anyway,
we could go with here. Okay, this could be a stretch.
Okay,
so Run the Jewels, the band.
I know. Well, that's why it was
LP.
So we could call them Run the Jewels.
This could be the Killer Mike line.
It could be the Killer Mike line, but we don't have a mic on the.
I know, but it's Killer Mike and LP.
I know. RTJ.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
There's something.
There's something there.
Yeah.
We'll mine it.
Yeah,
I'll sleep on it. This episode will come out, and I'll wake up, and I'll go, "It's this," and I'll be late, and it just. Yeah. Anyway, they are firing on all cylinders. It's like Jack Pridham is exactly what you needed on that line.
Yes. I thought I was deking you out here.
Okay.
I thought you were going to go Parsons, number 1, and I wanted to get the Pridham Elenis Lamb line as my number 1 because they were so good.
They're so good.
I mean, there's nothing else to say. It was great.
Yeah, they're firing, and it's exciting to have two lines with that kind of offensive control. It's not just the results; it's the possession time. The ice is tilted now with two lines.
We have two dominant lines that could be number 1 lines on other teams.
It's funny because we were right and then we were wrong and then we're right again, talking about how it feels like we have a 1A, 1B kind of line.
Yeah.
And then it was very clearly that when Swick came back and Misljevic was so good and Romano has been lights out, it was definitely their line 1. Now with Pridham in the mix, with Elenis and Lamb, it really feels like, I think we're back to 1A, 1B.
Yeah, for sure. All right, what's your second star?
Jackson Parsons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you said that.
I
already.
said that. Yeah. What's your second star?
My second star is the Sarnia announcers.
Okay.
They said all the things that I yell at my TV on the broadcast.
Well, that's nice.
And I felt so heard. I felt so seen.
It might not be nice for family watching.
It was the PG version.
Oh, the PG version. Okay, all right.
But it was all the because we have to watch the broadcast. There's only one broadcast.
True.
It is really nice when there's some unbiased opinions that come along with the announcers.
Yes, absolutely. Like against Owen Sound, when the Owen Sound attack commentators were criticizing calls against the Rangers, I felt very validated.
Yes.
So I appreciate when commentators call it down the middle.
So this was pretty much it. And they were they said things like, "Oh, that kind of looked like a dive," and stuff like that. And I was like, "Thank you. Thank you for seeing what I'm seeing." So I don't know what your names are. I should have looked that up, but thank you.
If only they were calling the game against London. That's a whole different ball game. We'll talk about that after.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what's your third star?
They scored a power play goal. The power play is working. However, it was 1 for 6. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the power play is going through something.
we have the Odd Pod brain meld is currently happening. Because my third star is the hot and cold power play.
Yes, something's going on with this power play because we just talked about how what's the power play strategy. I'd love to like pick the Juice's brain. What's the but there's something going on there. In a stretch of games, it seems to go cold. They still might score one, but 1 for 6 is not the percentage you want.
No. On the other end of special teams, our penalty kill is killing it.
Yes.
They are amazing.
They are.
So it's not even really a special teams issue. It is this streaky power play that is a problem.
As much as I like the rotating power play, I also wonder they didn't have more defined roles. Would the power play be as streaky, or is this just junior hockey?
Yeah, I think that's a good question for the Juice. Maybe on your second interview.
I was gonna say maybe I won't hardball question him right off the bat.
Ask him about nicknames first. And then the next time you meet with them.
Nicknames growing up. What do your kids call you?
Yeah.
What does your wife call you? Also, why is the power play streaky?
Great questions. Then finally, definitely our most anticipated game for the last little while.
It's true. We have had this date circled.
Yeah. So we played the London Knights last night. It was very fresh in our minds at time of recording.
Yeah, 2 top teams in the league, 2 top-ranked squads going head-to-head on the Tuesday night CHL game of the week.
Yep. So we lost 3-1
with an empty netter. So
yeah, not even nice. And they missed an empty netter.
They missed it, and it ended up as the 52-point streak goal because Easton Cowan scored it. Never been so disappointed in an empty netter, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
I rolled audibly.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's start with the good.
There's only really one good in this game.
Yeah,
and it wasn't a good. It was a great. It was a phenomenal.
It
was a statement to the league, to potential NCAA opponents.
Yeah,
it was Jackson Parsons.
Yeah.
I mean, the first 2 periods, I think Jackson may have been the only Ranger who came ready to play. And boy, did he.
Because it was, I correct me if I'm wrong, it was 31 shots to 12 after the second period.
Yes, it was. Yeah, the dead air is because, like, what the heck? I mean, look, the London Knights are like the Yankees of the OHL. This is a harsh fact. We're feeling a bit like the Red Sox pre-Bambino curse breaking, just in the head-to-head is almost 3/4 wins for London in the last 15 years. So it's an uphill battle. They got all the money. They got all the Nepo babies. They got the former NHLers behind the bench. They have it all. They have all the money. I live in London, so I gotta have something, I guess. You can't be an excuse because this is a good team, and
you're also good. Yeah.
You can't go into it with a inferiority complex. It has to be. These are the games you have to get up for, and you have to push hard. And if I saw a team getting outclassed and giving it their all, I kind of would say, yeah, London's just that good. But I don't think that the Rangers played their best game.
Yeah.
I know they didn't. I know that they got much better in the third period.
Yes.
So whatever they were doing in the third period is how they made an adjustment, and it worked.
Yep. That's how they needed to start the game.
That's how they needed to start the game.
And when you're playing hard opponents, that's when you need to start the game, is at the beginning.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really hoping that they can even out the series in the next game.
During the Sarnia game, because Sarnia started, I believe the first period was 0-0 at the end of the first. Not Sean, because they were away. They were in Sarnia.
Right.
They interviewed Cameron Reed.
That's right.
And it was funny. He felt the interview was very light, and he was like, yeah, like, we just have to make a couple adjustments. We'll be back in this game. We are not out of this game in any way. I mean, it was 0-0.
True.
They interviewed him at the end of the second period last night against London, and the dude looked stressed. It was a different feel to the game last night too.
Stressed, frustrated. They knew that they weren't playing their best.
They knew, yeah.
It just was a suffocating game.
It was.
But then the third period, there were adjustments, so there is a bright spot.
Yeah. So just because my good was obviously also Parsons, just throwing out his stats for the weekend.
Sure.
So for the 3 games since we last recorded, he had 3 goals against in 3 games, 81 saves, and a .964 save percentage.
Do you think he'll get Performer of the Week?
He didn't. He already didn't get Goaltender of the Week.
Great. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great that it's different now and we're getting all the respect we deserve.
Yeah.
That's sarcasm. Sorry, people.
Oh, yeah.
You can't see my face.
What's your bad?
The vibes off London.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible vibes.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm a Rangers fan, so it's biased. I don't care. Yuck. I don't know what it is, man. Just rubs me the wrong way. There's some teams that are great and they come in and they beat you and you tip your cap. And then there's some squads that come in and beat you. I know this from being an Oilers fan. They come in and beat you and you're like, you know what? I hope you fail the next game you play. I don't care who you're playing. I hope you just go out there and lose all, and yeah, maybe it's petty, but that's it. That's my bad. My bad are the vibes. You're celebrating like the 52-point streak matters. All right, okay. You're drafted, big boy. You're going to the NHL, right? You're gonna play for the Leafs, so get ready to play really well until about May, which is the opposite of London. So enjoy it while it lasts for you.
Hope you like the 4th line.
Yeah, well, maybe you won't even have a spot when somebody gets back from Germany with their hair transplant.
Yeah, the vibes, that's real. I don't want to give credit to the person that came up with this, but I remember when the Canes got the nickname Bunch of Jerks.
Yes.
And I didn't see it back then.
No.
This I would get.
Yeah.
They could have that nickname and I would get it.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad is sometimes I just feel like we're piling on ourselves, like the Rangers.
Yeah.
Penalties.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't want to pile on officiating, but it wasn't a greatly officiated games. But
that's part of the vibes, right?
We got suckered in. Oh yeah,
the vibe. Part of the vibes is the diving.
Yeah.
The diving
sure.
Vibes.
The diving vibes. But yeah, like London, Dan and Jason called it at the beginning of the game. London's game is to basically bully you into taking penalties.
Yeah.
And we fell for it in the second period.
Yeah.
The first period, everything seemed sort of logical. Second period, we started taking penalties we shouldn't have taken. And the team was just getting frustrated because they couldn't get any opportunities. Like, it was just...
Absolutely. I also carried more malice into this matchup, too, because I witnessed firsthand, in person, a former London Knight on the Edmonton Oilers poop his pants in front of the Toronto Maple Leafs faithful and choke away a win. So, yeah, thanks for that, Evan. Anyway, you're a good defenseman. I'm
not based on that game.
No, but even the fancies are still good, so we'll give them a pass. But there was an extra snarl to me last night watching this game.
If there's any players listening, just don't stop skating. That's what we learned from Evan Bouchard.
Don't throw a grenade into the slot either. All right?
Yeah, piling on ourselves. That was my bad.
Yeah.
Parsons getting taken out by his own defenseman. Also, like, it didn't lead to a goal.
No.
But it probably should have. Like,
yeah, it's like that kind of stuff happens in games where you're scrambling around and not playing your best.
No composure. Yeah, or less composure. It was messy. What's your ugly?
Oh, let's just bring it down to just zone entries, getting the puck to the net, and not being able to get through London sticks in the offensive zone in the third period where you dominated puck possession. It was just a frustrating game. It was like they were stuck in the mud once it turned around. What's crazy is, I will tell you, I had to watch this game on delay. I never saw a spoiler, but what I did see is that Parsons had 35 saves and was like performer of the night or of the game or whatever. I saw it very quickly and closed my phone down and was like, I don't want to see this because I like watching the games without the spoilers.
Yeah. Early third period, he had like 34 saves, and I was like, he's only getting one more save the rest of the game?
Yeah, because London couldn't get anything through to them.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing. So that's crazy to have 35 saves, and I think only a few of them, 4 or something, came in the last period.
Yeah, he saved 7 in the third.
7 in the third. There you go. So they did what they had to do, but what was frustrating was they could only get these perimeter shots. It was just like playing in mud. So the ugly was the actually capitalizing on chances in the third.
Yeah.
What was your ugly?
Similar. Like this could have been a bloodbath. And it was looking at the stats going the other direction. So, the high danger chances in the first and second period broke the odd pod analytics computer.
Oh yeah, it was just toast.
It couldn't count.
That's why our stats are off this week, because it's gone.
Yeah, it died last night.
We tried.
We didn't know what was going on. There were so many chances for London just right in front of Parsons, right there. And just like you were saying, we couldn't get anything off the perimeter.
Anytime you see a goalie do a rollover on his back, kicking his legs up, it didn't lead to anything, and it was more of a reaction for Jackson. It wasn't a reaction, Jackson. Yeah. It was more of a reaction from him. It wasn't even really in the process of a shot being taken, but it was just a desperate thing. Anytime you see that sort of desperation going on from a goaltender, it means like you're under fire.
Yes. Yeah, often the flashiest saves by goaltenders are usually because there's like positions are out of whack, or your player
people standing around watching the puck.
Yeah, watching the puck. That's usually what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was not the most fun game we could have had to end this week, but guess what? We got 2 more games coming up before our next recording.
We do.
We got a bit of a conference rivalry weekend.
Oh.
So we have Friday night. We're gonna be there.
We'll be there.
So if you're there tonight, because we release this on Friday, if you hear this and you're going to the game, say hi.
Look for us. Yes, we're gonna be there. We're excited to meet people that listen.
Yeah,
and we'd love to talk to you about maybe your greatest Ranger of all time.
We always like to ask that question. So yeah, Friday night we play the Windsor Spitfires. And then House of Windsor, and then Saturday we play the Erie Otters. So it's an interesting one.
I wonder what our old friend on Twitter, the Erie Otters tracker, will have to say about this. Are we still fraudulent?
I can't see how we could be, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Friday night against Windsor. They're top in the West Division, 3rd in the Western Conference. Man, the Western Conference is a force.
Loaded.
They are 3rd in the league too, which means the 3 Western teams are the 3 top teams. Which
loaded. This is going to be a prize fight.
It will be. This is our redemption game.
This has been circled since the poop game.
Yeah, since the
12-2 loss as the stomach flu game.
So Liam Greentree, who I don't remember from that game because
I remember
the horror show of the horror shows.
Neon Diricolo.
Oh, Greentree.
He's very good.
He is.
I don't know if he is a questionable player that way. I doubt it. If he's a talented guy,
he's very forward.
However, that's who did that to Diricolo.
You're just trying to get the numbers up so you win the bet.
I'm blasting those numbers. I control the odds, baby.
So yeah, Liam Greentree has 33 points in 20 games. Interestingly, so as I'm sure we remember, Belcha has put up 6 points against us.
Yes.
He only has 14 points in 15 games the whole season.
I mean, he's young, so I think
it's going to be streaky.
It's a rookie thing.
But it's crazy to see a 6-point game and then only have 8 points in your other 14 games.
I guess he thrives when the opponent is sick. Yeah.
Great. The next game is against the Erie Otters on Saturday. They're sitting 3rd in the Midwest Division. That's our division. And then 4th in the Western Conference. We have already played them 3 times. So we're 2-1 in the season matchup. We won the last 2 that we played against them. They only beat us in the season opener. And then we still have 3 more games against the Erie. I love how much we play our division rivals in the OHL. Super fun.
Take note, NHL. It used to be a little too much. I understand. The NHL used to have 6 games against Calgary, 6 games against Edmonton, 6 games against Vancouver. And you saw it a little, and it was a little too much. It's like, oh, Calgary again. Oh, it's Vancouver again. Whatever. But now this 3 games,
3 Battle of Albertas this year,
and they're all spread out weird.
One was on a Tuesday night.
Yeah,
come on.
If that's a Saturday night or a Friday night or even a Sunday night game, that's like a
Sunday afternoon game.
Yeah,
super fun.
a premier game.
I don't understand.
Gary's world.
Gary,
We're all just living in it.
we're all forced to endure it.
We're all just buying Fanatics merchandise into it. All right.
I haven't bought any
I
yet.
know, me neither, but
All right, so that's just the 2 games. And now it is time for the greatest Ranger of all time.
the G.R.O.A.T.
The G.R.O.A.T. I go first this week.
You go first this week.
There is a little concern that we picked the same G.R.O.A.T.
No, we didn't. It would be freakish.
But what if we did? But it doesn't matter.
And I guess he's just the.
He is the G.R.O.A.T.
He gets an automatic buy, is what happens. Yeah.
My G.R.O.A.T. pick is because Hockey Hall of Fame weekend was a couple weekends ago. We've already picked 3 Hockey Hall of Famers as G.R.O.A.T.s, and there's 5 total. You've picked Bill Barber and Scott Stevens. I picked Al McInnes. So I wanted to even it up.
All right. You know that my dad messaged us this name too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
I
go
didn't
ahead.
know this.
Yeah, it's great. He'll be excited.
Okay, so this is for Laurie. He only played 1 year of Major Junior because this man could not be stopped from going professional. So he only played 1 year with the Kitchener Rangers. He was a defenseman and only a defenseman. None of this jumping around and being an elite center. Although he probably could have been. I bet he could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 51 points in 65 games with the Rangers. That year, the Rangers were not a top dog. He was there for development, and we'll take it because he then was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens. He played a year and a half of junior hockey before playing 19 seasons with the Montreal Canadiens, not even ending his career there, went on to play more, but he could not be stopped. He could not be stopped. He played 1,384 games in the NHL and scored 958 points, again, as a defenseman. He won the Norris twice. He won a Conn Smythe. He won 6 Stanley Cups and 2 Canada Cups as a player. Okay? He was unstoppable. Like, this dude won everything. He then went on to coach. And I feel like this is actually the best part of his story, is he went on to coach. He started with the LA Kings. Then he went over to the New Jersey Devils as an assistant coach, where in 1999-2000 season, he was the assistant coach, and the Devils were expected to be far better than they were. But going into the final stretch of the season, they went 5-10-2, and they dropped to the last playoff spot in the standings. And with 2 weeks left in the regular season, Lou Lamoriello fired head coach Robbie Torek.
Yeah.
And put this player, now this coach,
Yes.
as the head coach. 2 weeks left in the season.
Ooh.
He righted the ship, won the Stanley Cup.
First of all, Lou is unhinged.
Unhinged. 2 weeks left in a season. He replaces the head coach for the playoffs.
Can you imagine that locker room?
Insane.
What is going on?
Insane.
And then in walks this man. Don't worry, guys.
So with 7 Stanley Cups, all this guy did was win. In 2017, he was named one of the top 100 players of all time at the NHL Centennial Celebration. I was there. I froze my toes off. His nickname was Big Bird.
And I've seen him play.
Have you?
I saw him play I believe I saw him play in the 2002 Heritage Classic.
Oh, pretty
in
cool.
the Legends game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you definitely would have been around back then,
Yes.
for sure. So this G.R.O.A.T. nomination is Larry Robinson.
Oh, what a legend. Larry Legend. Yeah, Larry Bird is known as Larry Legend in the NBA annals of history. This is our Larry Legend, Larry Robinson, Kitchener legend and coaching legend and Montreal Canadiens superstar.
It would be hard to imagine. It would take multiple players to add up the amount of accomplishments as Larry Robinson had in the NHL and over his career. Like, he won everything.
He won everything. He is top of the mountain.
Yep.
And probably doesn't get mentioned enough, even with a Hall of Fame career, when people are talking about greatest defenseman of all time.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's definitely a name that escapes, and it's probably a generational thing.
Andrew.
Okay.
Who's your G.R.O.A.T.?
I'm going Alt-Groat here.
Alt-Groat.
Alt-Groat. This is an interesting pick.
Okay. It wasn't Larry Robinson.
It wasn't Larry
Oh,
Robinson.
okay, good. Phew.
It wasn't Larry Robinson. It wasn't someone who ever donned the Rangers uniform.
I think I know who you picked.
He played in the OHL for 4 seasons with the Windsor CompuWare Spitfires.
Yeah.
His best offensive season, he scored 45 goals and had 46 assists for 91 points. He was drafted 237th overall by the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1988.
Yeah.
He played 3 seasons with their AHL affiliate. He scored 27 goals and 34 assists for 61 points in the last season he played for them, and then he promptly retired and went into coaching. He became an assistant coach for the Detroit Junior Red Wings during the 1994-95 season, which it's kind of funny throughout his junior coaching career, they keep renaming this scene. So the Detroit Junior Red Wings become the Detroit Whalers, and he is promoted to the dual position of head coach and general manager.
Terrible job.
Yeah. You know who left that job where he got promoted? Paul Maurice.
Ah, yes, his good friend.
In 1998-99, he led the team to an OHL leading 106 points. He turned them around. They were a bad team. He turned them around in 1 year. They had a down second year, and then the third year, they had 106 points and led the OHL. They won the Hamilton Spectator Trophy for best regular season team, and he won the Matt Layden Trophy as OHL Coach of the Year. In 99-2000, they're renamed again. Okay.
These poor guys.
They're not the Detroit Whalers. They're the Plymouth Whalers. They get the best record again, and he wins Coach of the Year again. Okay? They get all the way to the J. Ross Robertson Cup Finals, the OHL Finals. They lose in 6 games. Repeats it. Okay? This time, they get to the final round. They lose to Ottawa, but again, a really successful season. However, after this season, this man and his assistant, Steve Spott, are leaving the Whalers. And they're coming to Kitchener. All right. This is a team that missed the playoffs and was under 500, and quickly they're improving. The first season he's with them, they're 3rd place, and they lose in round 1. All right? But immediately, the next year, they're a 46-win team. He's the head coach and GM. They win the championship. Not just the championship, the Memorial Cup.
Of course.
Okay?
That legendary team.
He never misses the playoffs. He only has 1 season under a 600 winning percentage.
Oh my God.
He has a couple 47-win seasons, and then it's 2007, 2008, and he has the 53-win season, only an 11-loss season, which he did also with Plymouth. Lost only 11 games. He did that twice in the OHL as head coach and GM. Not just head coach, GM as well. And they, of course, in 2007, 2008, they win the OHL championship and lose a heartbreaker at home in the Memorial Cup to Spokane. But all in all, an incredible run in the OHL. He was the Memorial Cup champion, as I said. He under 20 World Junior Championship gold medalist, 2004-2005. Won a World Championship gold medal with the pros in 2014-2015. He was the head coach of the All-Star game in 2016-2017. Of course, after that storybook season, he jumps to the NHL. He coaches the Panthers. It doesn't go extremely well, but there was improvement there under him. He then gets hired by the Devils.
Yeah.
And in his first year with the Devils, they win 48 games, come out of nowhere, and they lose in the finals.
Yep.
Okay. Then it was a bit of a regression. It was a weird lockout year. The Devils were already kind of not expected to be this good.
It was a dark decade in hockey.
Yes, exactly. So he misses playoffs the next couple years, ends up getting canned, but then goes to San Jose. And first year with the Sharks, this man is like a first-year phenom with teams. Takes them to the finals. Unfortunately, they lose. He makes the playoffs all but 2 years from then on out in the NHL with the Sharks, Golden Knights, and Dallas Stars. He's lost in round 3 5 times. He's lost in the finals twice. But all to be said. He's an incredible head coach, an incredible head coach and GM for the Rangers, probably the best in their history. I was going through it trying to compare him. It's hard to compare him to anybody else. There's no one else. This week's G.R.O.A.T. nomination is Pete DeBoer.
Yeah, man. He's great. We appreciate all the G.R.O.A.T. send-ins that you've sent us over social media. Send us more. We want to hear from you. So let us know who your G.R.O.A.T. is. G.R.O.A.T., obviously, we've talked about not just greatest of for points or not just one specific area. The G.R.O.A.T. goes deep.
It does.
Tell us why.
If you know somebody had one particular standout season and you think it was truly something that needs to be mentioned, not everyone can be the true one and only G.R.O.A.T. standing at the end of this, but this is an opportunity for you to say, you know what? This guy needs some props.
Yeah.
Send us a voice note, send us a video, or even just send us an email and say, like, you got to do a little piece on this guy.
And tell us why. We want to hear why you think these are.
And the more passionate, the better.
Now we got some thank yous. As always, we have Ken Bourne for all the branding.
The branding and the branding.
And and he's going to be at the game on Friday.
He's going to be at the game. I'm excited to meet your dad.
Yeah. Our prodigal producer, Liam.
The Phenom.
We're back at the Kitchener Public Library this week.
It's home.
A daytime pod.
It's a daytime pod, so they didn't know us.
Yeah, it was different people. Socials?
You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at The Odd Podcast. If you want to send us interesting facts or history about the Kitchener Rangers, The Odd, or Kitchener Waterloo Cambridge, please email us at theoddpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please do all the normal things of subscribing, liking, engaging with us on social media.
We need it.
We need it.
We'd love it.
We'd really appreciate it. And we appreciate everybody who's done so far.
Yeah, everybody watching and listening, we love you.
We love y'all. And as always, you can find us at
the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium.
See you at the Odd.